The Rap Roundtable.
Gipp Gate has the internet on fire. You open up Twitter, you open up YouTube, and you're seeing big Gipp clips. Say that 3 times fast, all over the place. And of course, if it makes news, we got to talk about it here at the Rap Roundtable. Sure. It's your boy Jarve here alongside instead of Rap Snob, alongside Deanie the Bounce, alongside the homie Mace. It's been a long time since we got all 4 of us at the top on the screen. We was all 4 together on Monday, but we showed up sporadically. It wasn't the Fantastic Four as you know it.
The in and out weave.
Word. I mean, it was a beautiful session. At one point, it started off with Mason and I, to end up with Deanie and Sin, and with Baylor just there.
Shout out to Baylor, man.
Shout out to the West Coast bias, man.
You know what I'm saying?
He held it down. Capadonna Killer Sin vibes, you know what I mean?
Nah, we can do a little better than that, man.
Nah, he the fifth Beatle. He the fifth Beatle. Give him that. Make sure that you hit the like button as you're pulling up and you press play. I keep saying, as soon as you press play, hit like, because it helps us feed this algorithm. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell, the notification bell, so that you get notified, because YouTube plays games. They don't always tell you when we're on. So make sure you do these things and make sure you get the best possible opportunity to get all the new content that comes from us. Now, Big Gipp. When we got on here the last time, we were talking about what he said about Beyonce and Tupac would have had be if he was still alive. And the hater energy, and then after that, now we talking about Jay's a GOAT, but 50 Cent and DMX were bigger acts out of New York. Wow, guys, I see Sin already rolling his eyes.
Oh man,
I feel like we've been through this already.
Let's go through it again, Sin.
Come on, man.
Talk about it.
Here's the thing, like, we've been through this because of random internet comments. Sometimes people in our own comment section will throw out some Jay-Z hate. And as much of a Nas fan as I am, I'm like, nah, we're not having that. If me and Job have an agreement. We have an understanding. We'll go back and forth a bit. But if we're just gonna throw out blanket Jay-Z hate, like he's nobody, like he don't got bars, like it's all Beyonce and shit, Beyonce. We're not having that. We're not having that from nobody, and we definitely not having it from no Big Gipp. Shouts to this.
That's 3,000's man, sis.
Yeah.
To the Southern
Dungeon family, bro.
Shouts to the Dungeon family and all that. You know what I mean? Who's that?
Goody Mob,
yeah, that was my shit. That was my shit.
Man. What?
But no, man,
Switching sides?
the energy he's coming off with, man, he got it. Honestly, I feel like getting that guy off my lawn, bro.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Big Gipp got to get off my lawn with all of this.
Early in the game.
Early lawn.
Can we get the full lawn on 65?
You know
free
why?
lawn.
No, you know why? Because it's like the lawn is for either young heads that weren't there, they wasn't outside, they don't understand, they don't know the history. But then you have like these super duper double down old head motherfuckers that like the rhetoric that they spit off is like, yo, like there's some real deep seated hate and rancor for this man, for Jay-Z, and I'm like, yo, what did he do to you? That's what it feels like to me. It's like Jay-Z did something to this man, for this man to be going in on him all day, every day like this. This is crazy.
Hey, for me, usually I would go last, but I feel like Sin and I, because of the long-standing feud that we will never end with Nas and Jay, I feel like I got to go second here.
Get him.
I'm starting to piece a puzzle, right? And part of it, I gotta thank Gipp, because he kind of planted this theory. You know, YouTube, there's a lot of guys, they have their little fan theories. They watch the Marvel movies or the DC movies. They watch wrestling. They come up with theories. I have a theory. Job does the fan theory now. I get the feeling that a lot of these guys, whether they were in the rap game or they were street niggas who were around the rappers, have a problem with Jay-Z having a success. And I could be wrong, right? But it sure seems like they looked at Dame. And I think either Deanie or Mace, one of you guys said it on Monday, where it was like, they respect the loud nigga in the room. So guys, especially the street niggas.
That was you said? I thought I said that. I thought I said that.
It's possible.
That's your fault, bro.
Street niggas and people who are of a certain ilk usually respect the loudest nigga in the room. On the flip side of that, they look at Jay, he was quietish. I wasn't there, but based on what they're saying, he was quiet. And I think they look at Jay-Z as like the lame nigga who got lucky because certain situations unfolded a certain kind of way. You wasn't like, basically it's like that old high school argument. You was corny in high school and now you up now. But the rest of them are still stuck in high school, even though adult life is actually what matters. So I think a lot of these guys look at Jay as a dude who had to wait his turn. He wasn't popping when we were popping. So I can't take him seriously because he wasn't good enough to be popping when we were popping. When in all actuality, with the exception of a handful of artists, he's better and greater than all of these guys who talk about him on these podcasts. Because no, Big Gipp is not lit right now for his music. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go on the Vlad TVs. You gotta go on what's the name of that show? I forgot the name of the show.
Art of Dialogue.
The Art of Dialogue.
My God.
You gotta go on somebody else's platform to talk about the littest dude in the game from your era, because you can say Drake is more lit than Jay, but as far as the old heads go, Hov is the littest. Y'all in the chat could go to hell. Y'all know I'm right. As much as you like who you like, he is the littest of the old heads. And y'all haters. Y'all, it's hate. Sin is hate.
If I can sit back in, one, this is the most shine Big Gipp has had in 20 plus years.
Oh my God.
Man.
Shouts to that.
Since the mutant mind is
slander this man.
You don't have to go with that white dude to get lit again and change his name, Nars Barkley. Like,
yeah, you kind of understand why CeeLo left now. You know what I mean? You kind of understand. I was about to say that too. You kind of understand why CeeLo, like, you know, went the path that he went. So, but just to piggyback off of something you said, because we did. You started off by pointing out that like Big Gipp has brought up Tupac, right? And then he brought up 50 Cent and DMX. Now, if you look at those all three of those, in one way or another, these are guys that were loud and boisterous.
Yes.
I mean, they had that boisterous energy.
Yes.
50 Cent wasn't going around like yelling and screaming and shit like that, not like Pac or whatever. But he was loose.
He wanted all the
smoke. He always wanted the smoke, right?
Yeah. He was a spiritual successor to that lane of rapper.
Exactly.
I would say he filled in DMX's role. DMX, like Pac X 50, as far as that type of dude.
Right.
Right.
And it seems like that's the energy that Gipp celebrates. You know what I mean? And for Jay to be like a little bit more quiet and calculated, not always running off at the mouth, right? And then to see him achieve the success that he did, this is why it bothers me, because this is sort of that same line of reasoning and same rhetoric that the Illuminati heads will have, and the checkerboard guys will have. Like, how Jay couldn't possibly have achieved this much success. Like, how could he? It got to be Illuminati. And it's like, bro, you taking away all the credit from this man, and all the calculated moves that he made. That meant, if nothing else, Jay-Z is calculated, bro. Like, everything is he's been playing chess, not checkers, for like his entire career. Everything is like, it feels like, at least to me, from a fan standpoint, I feel like every move that he's made has been 2, 3, 4 steps ahead, and just knowing where everything is going. And that's why I always respect Jay. As much of a Nas fan as I am, and as much as Jay, you know, Jarv and I will go back and forth, I will never disrespect Jay like that, because like that level of calculatedness should only be celebrated, especially from us.
That's a fact. And before I pass it to Dini, I gotta repeat it. I said it on Monday. Big Gipp spent so much time emphasizing that he was there in real time for certain events in history. So how can you play the I was there card, but then say it was Beyonce that got Hov lit? If you were there, then you were there in 97, 96, 98, as he was building up to blowing up, sans the passing of Big and Tupac. But there was a buildup. Like, people always talk about this thing like the records were not there. Like, Hov had a big record in 96. He had a big record in 97 before he went viral in 98. It wasn't like he was some underground backpack dude. Hov, as long as I've been a Jay-Z fan, he always had a record on the radio that was big. Mm-hmm. So it's like this narrative that is Beyonce, when Beyonce didn't show up until 2002 officially as his girlfriend. Why are we negating all the success he had prior to that? Because he became a billionaire. Like I don't, and then the thing is, y'all keep saying Jay-Z fans talk about his money. The last thing I want to say is, unlike some of your favorite rappers, Hov wasn't an actor. He wasn't a multimedia celebrity. He got his accolades from his raps. And nobody ever talks about that. We celebrate Hov's success because he did it with raps, stupid. Okay? Like we need to get into that conversation. But Dini, before I get worked up, please take the ball.
Yo, just listening to Big Gipp, just detail these stories, man. Just sounded like a jilted lover, man. Like, damn. Like there was, nah, for real. Like there was like some 6 degrees of separation where something that Jay did in his calculation somehow that shit resonated. That shit did something bad to somebody that Gibbs fuck with. Because that shit is just wild to me, bro. Like I understand if the conversation about Pac was the biggest star.
He was
a legend, B. Like a living legend. Like movies, film, cinema. But to use that to just disregard all the other shit Jay did to me was just bonkers. Just say, yo, Pac is my man. I fuck with that man heavy. I know that man. That was my brother. I seen a vision.
And my question to you, Dini, is: was he really friends with Pac like that, or was he just a fan?
It sounds like he was a fan.
I don't see no flicks with Big Gipp when Pac was alive.
Like fandom.
It does sound like fandom, especially when you're talking about he would have took his bitch and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like things that have nothing to do with music. But it's Pac did that to people, bro. Like if you were a fan of Pac and you really love Pac back in, Pac grabbed your soul, pause, when he was rapping. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't as dude said technical, the word he used. He wasn't as technically gifted as Hov. He wasn't lyrically as gifted as Hov. He just wasn't, to me, sonically, he just was just hailed sonically, but the lyrics, he like a prodigy in a way where he wasn't the most technical with the bars, but he just still knew how to speak directly to your soul. Right, but it's definitely hate, man. I can't get behind it, and I give Gipp his props. I always got to give people their props because he did what he did, regardless of what you want to say about him. You know what I'm saying? You know who he is. He has a platform. He did his thing. He's a part of a big name group that we respect. We got love for. But it just, what did Hov do to you, bro? Like what did he do to you? Like, there's no way you can say all that. And the shit that bothered me the most before I pass it off to Mace was the way the story was told. Like the way. You know, like a girl tell a story, but she just leave out little details and things that's like, yo, if you knew those details, it would change the whole way you view the story.
There he
like,
goes.
You know I gotta pop out. But you're gonna disregard the run. Shit. Disregard the 7.
Yo, where was this guy on Monday?
Yo, my bad. It was a rough week. Like you're gonna disregard the albums. You're gonna disregard Rockaway 18 months. You're gonna disregard just the movement. This nigga saying, "Hov, no more jerseys. Everybody throwing a button up now." We gonna disregard like the overall. Granted, niggas, I did see a lot of niggas had their little thug life tattoo and all that. So I ain't know. But I mean, you can't disregard what Hov did, and it's been step by step. We've all seen this shit happen, bro. Like we've been there for the whole step. 96 is when the shit started first jumping. You're gonna disregard arguably the biggest hip hop tour of its time. Like you can't disregard those things, bro.
Yeah, I'm glad.
He gonna say that was DMX though.
You said what?
He gonna say that was DMX tour.
Bro, what was DMX run from 98 to like 03, 04? Let's be honest.
Nah, as far as DMX's Supernova, it was 98 to 2000.
Yeah,
I thought first 2 joints.
First,
but the other joints did good commercially though. The other joints did good commercially.
I mean, 2 in 98 and 1 in 99.
The New Yorkers in the room, and tell the truth. By around 2001, Locks was starting to get a lot more love with the Rough Rider wave. Eve was still doing her thing. Rockefeller was going strong. Like we gotta tell the truth here. It's not about biased fandom. It's about telling. Even I think Bravehearts was making some waves around that time out in Queens. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have to tell the truth. Go ahead, Mace.
My guys kind of laid it out there, pause. But first, I wanna take away Gipp. As nonsensical as he been, we're not gonna call Gipp a super fan. It's documented that Gipp was in the building when Hit 'Em Up was recorded. You know what I mean? That Pac is on record, not on record, but in interviews saying he wanted to have Goody Mob on his next album. So it's not just a fandom thing.
Well,
it's more
the Pac fan will be here to clarify it because I don't know that.
You know what I mean?
I don't see no pics with Gipp and Pac. It sounds like fan theories to me.
You know, so we gonna give Gipp at least that credit that, you know what I mean, he was actually cool with the man. You know what I mean?
All right.
It counts for something.
That credit. But you know, for me, I often fall on two sides of this argument, right? Because I am the Pac fan, right? Mm-hmm. So these are, you know, Jay-Z being the premier hip hop icon of the last 20 years, you know what I mean? And Pac being, you know, the hip hop icon before then, you know what I mean? If there's two most influential rappers ever, is Pac.
I would say Pac is the premier hip hop icon, period.
Yeah, I would agree. I just mean, you know, when you're living, you can impact certain shit a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like, Hov kind of switch shit up like 3-4 different times. With Pac, you can kind of only go one way because he unfortunately passed at the young age of 25. You know what I mean? So, you know, I keep it real with you. You know, and Jarv ain't gonna like this comparison, but similar to LeBron James, there's a certain feeling from people who from his era and before his era, right? You hear Rasheed Wallace say LeBron couldn't do nothing in our era. Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Steven Jackson. The names are endless. and honestly, unlike Nas, who kind of gets respect from the old era a little bit more,
he started in the era.
Right. I mean, Hov started before Nas. Hawaiian Sophie fan.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? But
Nas was active. He wasn't somebody low man's.
I don't think that's because of how great the verse was. You know what I mean? On Live at the Barbecue.
Okay.
But but it's a certain feeling. I've seen Grandmaster Melly Mel have the same feelings about Jay-Z. You know, I done seen countless people who were established before Jay was Jay that kind of give this sentiment, right? That he, you know, he's the guy for y'all, but he wasn't, you know what I mean? He wasn't all that for us. You know what I mean? And not whether it's true or not is all up to your taste, right? But this is, you know, that's kind of a thing where it seems like there's a post, I don't know what year, post 2000 release. If you came out after 2000, you revere Hov a little bit more if you came than the niggas who came out before then, right? So that's kind of like Jay is like, you know, in the same way, Jarv not gonna like this comparison either, but in the same way that Drake signified the new era, right? Jay was kind of that, right? Like Jay was the end game. Jay came in the Big and Pac shit, you know, he was the next guy, right? And he carried the shit for a decade. You know what I mean? And then off the field, I guess we can say carried it for another decade because niggas following his business moves just like they did his rap moves. You know what I mean? So it's like there's like a certain weird thing where it's like the older guys kind of don't want to give him his, you know, his due just. Yeah, and it's been like Gipp is just one of the many who kind of like go out of their way to seem unimpressed by Jay-Z. You know what I mean? So I think you have to. Go ahead, Sam.
No, go ahead. Finish up.
No, like, you know, just to, you know, so it's like I've always felt like there was kind of a disconnect between Jay-Z when it comes to certain guys who just don't feel like he's the one. Now, I always felt like it's because Jay kind of, you know, cleaned them up. That's the way I always felt as a fan coming up in the day. Like, Jay really got these niggas the fuck up out of this. So, of course, he would be mad. And he capitalized monetarily in a way that nobody even thought was possible. You know what I mean? So we have to, I know niggas don't want to talk Jay-Z, money, and this, that, and the third, but you gotta talk. You know what I mean?
Part of hip-hop, bro.
It's what I'm saying. When you talk about rappers who may not have $1 million in the bank account, read the paper. This nigga who was a little man when you came out got $2 billion. You know what I mean? You might feel away. You know, so I always consider the disconnect between, you know, the older generation and the newer generation when it comes to Hov. You know what I mean? And I kind of like gotta, you know, give them a little, I don't want to say grace, but I kind of like write them all grain of salt type shit. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I hate your OT. You know what I mean? So that's the way I end up kind of taking the shit from Big Gipp, especially being a Pac fan. You know what I mean? And a Pac Like, go to Art of Dialogue. You see Spice One saying the same shit, man.
So it seems like the Art of Dialogue is the anti Jay-Z platform. I don't know. You know what I mean? Get guys to talk bad about Jay-Z.
Mace's sticking with pot.
To add to Mace's theory there, I think part of it is probably that the aesthetics of Jay coming up, it wasn't the got it from the mud, got it out the mud energy. It almost felt
wasn't
like
it though?
No, but listen, hear me out. When Jay came out, like officially in '96 with Reasonable Doubt, he already gave this feeling of elevation. Like he came into the game already elevated above dudes. Like he was already
100 grand strong, according to
you know what I mean. He was already on
99 to be exact.
He was already on certain champagnes. He was already on the platinum shit. That fuck the gold. I'm doing platinum now. You know what I mean?
Bullshit.
And so it's not like that energy where Nas, you saw him literally the visuals was him coming from the project, Wu-Tang Clan, Biggie, you take it back, G-Rap, BDP, all these guys, like you saw them, in the hoods, you know what I mean, even in the videos, and then from that inception, from when they came into the game, then they rose above, you know what I mean? But I think the feeling is that with Jay, as soon as he came in the game, like Hawaiian, like look at Hawaiian Sophie. They wasn't in the hood.
Right.
You know what I mean? Look at In My Lifetime videos. They was out in the boat. Skinny nigga on the boat. Get the fuck out of here. Like that guy. You know what I mean? And so I think what the disconnect is that these guys were looking at everyone else and seeing the landscape and being like, all right, these are dudes that I thought Pac, you know what I mean? Had that hood energy. These are guys that I can relate to. These are guys coming from where I come from, and they're elevating now. But I think Jay, one, he didn't run in any of those circles, and two, since nobody really was that familiar with him, to just see him just land in the game and already, why is he on a boat? Why is he rocking all this Versace? Why is he like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's where the disconnect is for a lot of those older heads of the time. You know what I mean?
And I'll swoop in here and I'll say you go back to his bars, Reasonable era, Volume 1 era. I don't know, maybe in hindsight, being that there's such a disconnect between the guys who were on already and became what they are today and the guys who are like Jay-Z, he used to talk real crazy to rappers in the game. Like imaginary players as a case in point of the way he talked to guys who had deals who were in the limelight. Like, I'm getting to this bag in real life. He was one of the first niggas I was playing that I'm not a rapper card. You know what I'm saying? Right. A lot of guys who started saying I'm not a rapper, they was following the whole footsteps saying I'm a hustler who became a rapper. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at that, and we don't know what's happening in those clubs and in those rooms with all of these rappers together. Maybe Hov used to front on these niggas, like, get the fuck out of here. Because he seemed like he had to, and God have said, Jay-Z's a shiesty guy. So maybe he was in these rooms dissing these, get the fuck out of here. Y'all can't fuck with us. We really popping bottles. You know what I mean? To this day, he always flexing with OG Juan and Emery and all these guys. He's always in a situation where he's talking as if he's above a certain tier.
Better than niggas. Yeah.
Better than niggas. Right? I was trying to be nice about it. But it makes me wonder if the way he carried himself and the way the Rockefeller niggas carried, because Dame wasn't no better. Like, the fallout might have happened now, but Dame was a big time shit talker. So you got loud ass Dame, cocky pause asshole in the room. You might make a certain guy feel a certain kind of way, and they'll hold on to that grudge. Like, who does this guy think he is? Because you wasn't that when this guy was here. When in all actuality, Hope didn't get money nigga from day one.
The cool nigga, man. It hurts. I mean? I'm telling you, it hurts your heart, man.
And then the thing is, I'd like to get into it. Sin, can you pull up that tweet as I get this point off? There's a lot of people here, and every time we talk about these topics, they swoop in and it's like, oh, it's a lot of New York bias on this podcast. There's a lot of New York bias energy on this podcast. I'd like to just establish this right now.
Love it.
Duh. You know what I mean? We have 2 episodes called New York Bias. New York Bias 1 and 2. We are New York's #1 hip hop podcast. That's 1. And 2, if you're going against what we say and you're saying, what about these guys? That makes you less biased than us. You're choosing a side. If you're not choosing the New York dudes, you're choosing a bunch of West Coast rappers. That makes you more fair than the New York niggas because you chose the West Coast niggas. Like, this
right. You're still biased.
Everybody has a bias. Again, we always gripe about it. New York is the only region that's not allowed to be biased about their favorites in their city. But we're never going to be bashful about that on this podcast. So if you don't like that, there you go. Sid, I know you got my load.
Yeah, shouts to Salt in the Game on Twitter. She said, she said that Gipp conversation made me realize that a lot of y'all don't understand Hove had set the bar very high, dropping a platinum album every year for like 7 years straight. Everyone he mentions has their accomplishments, but nobody did that like Hove. I'm not even including Reasonable Doubt because we didn't even really appreciate that one till the second one came out. And you know what I mean? I think she's spitting facts there.
She's on to something.
I don't see no lie.
What you think?
You know what I mean? Dean?
My shit battle. I might have to log off and jump back in, bros. My shit choppy.
Say no more.
All right,
Mace, jump in. What you think about that tweet?
That tweet specifically, she's correct, right? Like if we talking superpowers, right? We can't talk about all the Spider-Man shit, and then when it comes to the Hulk, we're not going to talk about how you get frolic on niggas. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, that's that like argument where you want to talk about the positives but minimize the negatives, right? Yeah, you have. I'll take Pac out of the argument, right? Pac died, so you don't know how that would have continued post 96, but we saw 50 in X, bro. We saw it. You know what I mean? By the time Who We Be came out, we wasn't really rocking with him like that. You know what I'm saying? Like by the time remember, I Get Money is a hit, but that's because on Curtis, 50 dropped 4 singles before he really could fuck with Kanye to even be on the same release date. So it's like, how can we ignore a sustained, we'll go back to the LeBron argument, y'all, like a sustained excellence the way he did it, right? Until this
you killing
modern
these LeBron arguments, by the way.
You know what I mean? That's right, exactly. But until this modern day Drake run, you know what I mean, and we could say just like in the NBA, they didn't change the rules on niggas. Until this modern run, we never saw no shit like this. You know what I mean? He had to retire to stop the run and came back and did it continuously. So, I forgot her name. Sin threw a name out, but she's correct in her assessment. You know what I mean? It's like we can't not talk about Salt in the Game. We can't not talk about the great shit he did and not, okay, he didn't go diamond. We understand, he didn't drop 5 million in 1 year like X. But come on, he was hot before then and hot way after them. Like, come on.
You know what? What I'll say to this is because, and I'm going to steal Sincere's point, where he made a comment about people not understanding the difference between having moments and being consistently hot. That's the difference. Like 50 was a supernova, DMX supernova, Eminem, even Nelly, they were more on the whiter side of the fence. But these people in their moments, they were supernovas and they did big numbers coming in. But if you look at the pie chart or you look at whatever graphs you want to look at with their record sales, it started off here and then it progressively went down album for album for album. Jay, outside of that 5 million sales spike in 98 with Volume 2, he always hovered somewhere between 2 million and 4 million sold. Somewhere in that vicinity, 2 to 3 if you want to be extremely precise. But some of them went above, they went 3.5. I feel like, I forget which album it was that did 4. It might not kick. I think
2 because it was a double.
Blueprint 2 did I, but it was one after that I was like, that shit did 4. It might even be Kingdom Come. Kingdom Come did a big number. You know what I mean? And that album was not good. No. That album was not good at all. But the fact of the matter is he did what he did consistently. And people, instead of celebrating that, no one has done that. That's the part of the tweet that sticks out for me. There's not one rapper, maybe Drake. Drake is the closest one you could say, and even still, with the music Drake makes, you can't even call it rap all the time. But for the kind of music he did from 96 to 03, nobody did that. Not even Nas. Nas took his breaks. That doesn't make Nas any lesser than Pope. But what I'm saying is 7 straight summers, you know what I mean? I can finish the bar for you, but you know what I'm saying? Look at the Hovey baby.
And the crazy thing is that, like, at us pop fans, you know what I mean? Like, let's keep it a stack.
Pac is the only one who could have that conversation. I'm sorry, mate. I just needed to say that.
And if anybody followed the same kind of career path as Jay, it was Pac. Like, Tupacalypse Now went gold. Like, Reasonable Doubt went gold. Right. Strictly for My Niggas went plat. Like, Volume 1 went plat. It wasn't until that third album, Me Against the World, that Pac blew up. That's the same road as Hov. Like, they followed the same trail as each other. So to say, yo, Pac was with, like, nah, they both had to get shit rolling, bro. So, you know what I mean? Like, I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna use 50 and X as a negative to Jay, you can do the same thing to Pac. You know what I mean? So, in another thing, I will say this to kind of flip it a little bit. The thing is this, is like Hov as the spiritual successor to Big, you know what I mean? He kind of like was destined for the hate. You know what I mean? We all love Big now. He's the greatest. We love him. He's the most talented ever. But at the time of his death, Nas was dissing him. Raekwon and Ghost was dissing him. The Roots were dissing him. The Boot Camp Clip was dissing him. J. Rule was dissing him. Like, Big was the shit that Hov was getting. That's what Big was getting before. So it's like Big, you know, in a weird way, I just say he followed Nas's. I mean, he followed Pac's road. He followed Big's road too. You know what I'm saying?
But the people loved Big in a way that they outside of his fans, they don't love Jay-Z. Maybe
nobody till somebody kills you though.
I'm telling you, it's because they saw the come up. They saw the moment where he got it out the mud and rose above. You know what I mean? And I don't think people see that in Jay's story. You know what I mean?
No, they don't, because when we talk about 7 straight years, they'll say that he bought his success. There's people in the chat right now, I'm willing to bet anything, that's going to say he bought his success. It's not organic, because we've seen it on our comment section where they'll say, you know, he paid for magazine publications, he bought his radio spins, and maybe some of that is true. You know, I won't dispute it. Payola's a real thing. But it's like, he did it.
He wasn't doing nothing nobody else was doing in that era.
It wasn't no streaming era.
It's like juicing in baseball, bro. Like, come on.
Well, we know, everybody knows a Jay-Z fan, so you can't say that his fans don't exist. Nas fans hate Jay-Z fans because they exist. You know what I mean? And they have opinions. So the fans are there. They did that. But people don't believe it. Like, when I saw a comment when we did the Billboard thing, and somebody commented and said that Jay-Z paid Billboard to make him number one. I'm like, why do y'all give this man so much power?
Crazy.
Like,
crazy.
Why would he even do that at this point in his career?
Why? Why would he do that?
He was calling himself the GOAT before anybody agreed. He doesn't need Billboard to say it.
Oh man.
What's that other piece of information we got to get into? I don't know what Dini's getting back, but we got to keep the ball rolling.
Nah, you know what? And I don't have it in front of me, but I got the memory of an elephant, thank God. But there was a Vibe article. You know, I was perusing the internet because Sin, in the group chat, Sin was beating my ass today. He was finding all type of Easter eggs and posts. He was finding all type of old shit. I said, I got to get in the archives and find some shit. You know what I mean? So I
got it here, as a matter of fact. But continue.
Here we go. So it's from an old article in 2010 with Vibe that Gipp was referring to. Jarl, if you wanna give us the excerpt from the
I got it here. I'll do it. Gipp's main concern is setting the record straight on Southern rap. According to Gipp, right? Quoting Gipp, I take it as a slap in the face when I see kids coming up praising Jay-Z and these other cats. Now, who are these other cats? Who knows? But he name drops Jay-Z.
Right.
Back in the day, they wouldn't even talk to Southern rappers. He bristles. Ludacris, Jeezy, and T.I., they praise Jay-Z, and to me, Jay-Z ain't never said anything besides how to sell dope.
And that was from 2010, right?
And I'm
so
telling you,
get that at the very minimum,
like
has been hating this man. Right. He at the very minimum, he's been hating Jay-Z for 13 years. You know what I mean? And Sen poses it perfectly. These are like the talking head, web forum, internet commenter arguments, right? Like he only talks about dope. He do it bad fly though, so how can I be upset? Like he talk about dope really fly. Shouts to Pusha T, because you like number 2 in the category. You know what I mean? So it's like it's we know that's incorrect, first of all, and it just shows a line of thinking that that argument that he made in that Rob has nothing to do with why he say you don't fuck with him now, right? So it's like he just had been hating him for years for different reasons, you know, whatever narrative fit in that particular timeline, because he haven't been talking about dope for 13 years now, right? So now I got to talk about something else why I don't like him. So I just thought that was telling. That's why I tossed that in the chat, because I'm like, look at this guy, man, he's hating for years.
Honestly, anytime somebody says, and these other cats, that's always laced with a splash of hate. A little Salt Bay, a little Lowry's of hate. Like, you ain't never heard somebody say and these other cats in a good connotation. I don't even trust any nigga that says
as a fact
when discussing other dudes. Anytime you hear he say cat, like I'm ready to get you sideways.
Cats,
you know what I mean?
Yeah. Right.
Even when people say fam is another word where I'll be like, I don't know if I want to hear what you got to say. You know what I mean? Family's safe.
So it's
fam
always loaded.
It's a little shaky. You know what I mean?
It's always loaded.
But it's like this right here, we still like, it's so much hurt energy. They didn't take the South seriously, etc., etc. Then they got the generation after you. What do you name? Ludacris, Jeezy, T.I. You go further south, Lil Wayne, Rose. You go to Memphis with the CMG movement. These guys all follow behind, and I don't mean to say that in a crazy way. Let me rephrase. These guys respect Jay-Z. They are in tow with Jay-Z as far as business acumen, because
they follow the blueprint, man. Let's keep it a stack.
And it's like, all right, yeah, New York was fronting on the South 20, 30 years ago. As times changed, people got less ignorant. As people, are we not allowed to mature in our sensibilities? We still gonna hold on to old shit?
I mean, there's
Gipp, I don't know if you know, but Jay-Z signed Rick Ross and Jeezy, so they might, appreciate it a little bit.
Why didn't Dungeon Family sign them?
There's that, but also like, if we was talking about like these other cats,
why So Def ain't signed
maybe Wu-Tang, you know what I mean? Maybe Nas, maybe some other New York artists, but Jay-Z, didn't he do the High remix in '98?
Right.
What was the big Atlanta label? Why did Def Jam South need to be a thing? Who was the big Atlanta label?
Didn't he do Big Pimpin' with UGK in '99?
Yes, he did. Sure did.
He ain't go out west to get you in '98.
What are we talking about? What are we talking about here, man? Come on.
He was the one who made Juvenile valid in New York in '99. No one was rocking it. Juvenile was not on the radio in '99 until Hov did the High remix, bro. That's a fact.
Word.
Then Back That Ass came behind that.
That's a fact.
Yo, this is hate. This is hate. yeah. Big Atlanta movement. They saying Atlanta supports everybody, yet 3 predominant artists ended up under Jay-Z's umbrella. I wouldn't even put Ludacris there, because Ludacris is on Def Jam while Jay was still active. So whoever was running Def Jam at that time, I give them more credit for Luda. But the Jeezys and the T.I.s, T.I. was sampling Hov, bring them out.
He love Hov.
Talking about
Ross. You mentioned Ross. He signed Ross to Def Jam. If we all
another nigga that love Hov.
If we all remember, right around the Carter 2 era, when we were like, yo, Wayne's leaving Cash Money, Rockefeller was supposed to sign Wayne, if y'all remember.
Didn't Hov put him on the Soldier remix?
Bro, this is what I'm saying. Along with T.I.
This can't be life.
The Carters.
Zach always showed love to Scarface.
That's a fact.
I don't
99,
understand.
He's not the focus of y'all hate, man.
They gonna say we
them source writers from '92, bro. Like that gave y'all 3 mics, man. Like, come on.
They gonna say
Jay-Z
we
has something to do
Avengers,
with that.
but we really pointing out all the facts. For as much negatives, and there are plenty of negatives when it comes to Jay. Some of these things that y'all saying, and then you listening, and a lot of y'all, because again, I'm on YouTube and I'm scrolling through the comments, and some of y'all that's in our comments are in these comments agreeing with Big Gipp, and I find you lot to be very disgusting. I'm a little embarrassed. I'm not gonna lie to you because this is crazy to me. Let's talk about Jay being a shiesty businessman. Let's talk about how he handled Dame. Let's talk about how he handled Kanye. Let's talk about the things that we know about, not the conspiracy fan theories.
Not Pac would have fucked this bitch if he was alive, bro.
Why we celebrating
That's weird, bro. That's weird,
shit. So the question I would have for Gipp, if
that's
you say Pac walked in the room and he could have took, so he essentially could have took your bitch too, is what you saying. You know what I'm saying? If he could have walked in the room and let's be honest.
If he can take B, he can take anybody, right?
That's what I'm saying.
So,
yo, bitch,
and for the Nas fans agreeing, you saying Pac would have took Khalees from Nas? Like, what we talking about? Y'all coach?
What are we saying? What are we saying?
Man.
He was taking
and that's
Vivica
another
for
thing,
50?
Joe. That whole enemy of my enemy shit. Just because somebody piles on to somebody you like, don't give you the right to just jack some completely false shit just because, you know what I'm saying? Not accusing Nas fans of this, because we got the smartest Nas fan that ever existed on the panel, and since he don't involve himself in dumb shit like that. But just
we do.
The low hanging fruit of niggas, you know what I mean, that get into shit like that. Just cause you hate a nigga too, you know what I mean? Now Big Gipp is the smartest nigga on earth. Like, come on now.
Yo, I just hope these niggas rush that Pac album when it come out the way they did when they rushed
Oh, we will. He was top 100 streams last year.
I want to see it.
Gibb better have a mixtape coming out, because if you doing all this for free,
he does.
He better have a feature on that upcoming Pac album.
Hold on, what you said?
Something.
What's dude's name? Is it Jay Worthy?
Jay Worthy.
Who's the dude? There's, Larry June was working with another dude named
Jay Worthy.
He has something coming out. I think it's tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, so this is a rollout?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was like,
Dini, you could have solved this shit from the beginning.
Wait, Dini, say that again? Jay Worthy.
Right before we recorded, I was like, this shit, because I re-listened to this shit with Beyonce. I was like, bro, this is some different type of shit. Something must be coming out, or he got something happening. And it says February 17th, him and some shit with Worthy's supposed to drop. So, and it's not their first joint together. Like, they got another joint together too. So.
Big Gipp and Jay Worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
That's what it said.
Tap in.
Are you sure? Because I'm Googling right now.
Check it out.
Bro.
Let me know. Apparently you got something happening.
Nobody's heard of your album on the panel, bro. And we always Googling you right before the fucking episode, bro.
You see it, Joe?
Hold on, wait. I ain't see it yet.
No, it's somebody. Hold up. Yeah, it's somebody named James Worthy.
James Worthy.
So not
Jay Worthy. It's not Jay Worthy.
Understood.
James Worthy.
James Worthy. Well, they got something dropping tomorrow.
Fake ass Jay Worthy.
Yo.
So this whole thing was a rollout? That's what you saying to me?
Apparently.
What the fuck?
Shit tomorrow better be fire.
Yeah, Gipp and
Worthy.
It's
Jay
called...
Worthy and Big Gipp did not make any sense. I was like...
Yeah, that's why I was like, Jay Worthy?
They were like, oh, hell no.
It better...
Hold on. It's Gipp and Worthy releasing 217. So this whole thing is a rollout.
We gonna see what it do.
Ain't gonna do shit.
You done got it.
Motherfuckers don't want to hear Gipp rap.
All right, cut it. We ain't giving this guy no more answers. Fuck it.
This guy's drinking it right in front of the camera like we're not trying to be monetized. Bro, get your fucking life together, man.
It's water.
It don't matter. You gotta have a cup like that doesn't show the liquid.
Say that. It's off the screen.
Bro, like it's
we've already established that he been hating for years. So shouts to Gipp for finally cashing in on the hate, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you might as well, bro.
I hope when Hov finally does drop this album, I hope there's a nice jab for Gipp.
That just means that the next whole verse is gonna have a big Gipp, a clever Gipp bar.
Lil Gipp. I'm here for it.
Oh man.
Bro, like all these guys, all these young rappers quoting Hove lyrics. And this
sometimes
guy,
multiple times on the same album, bro.
Yo, he out here like Clubber Lang and Rocky 3, bro. Like, come on, man. Come on, Gipp. Like, the thing is, I'm tight because we did this episode, and all they're gonna hear is us giving Hove credit and calling us Hove Vengeance, and missing the point that we're not standing for any kind of hate, bro. If some random Southern dude decides that they're gonna talk crazy about Nas or any other New York rapper, we on it. Like when I forgot when that whole Andre 3000 and Nas thing happened, we did the same thing. We got 3 stacks out of here. Sin tried to
out of here. Sin tried it.
We got him out of here, bro. If you don't believe us, pull the footage. This on our YouTube channel. You get crazy with a New York legend, we getting you out of here. It's that simple. It is that simple.
And y'all gotta understand, Jaws is the Hove Avenger. Sin is the Nasirian. I'm the two Pakistan. You know what I mean? And Beanie is the balance himself. Like,
I'm caught in the middle, man. It's a rough life.
And
I'm
this ain't the Hove Avenger pod, man.
Bro, if I knew he had a tape coming out before we started recording, I'd have just been flaming him the whole time. I'd have just been like,
I was like, this
we could have played that out loud because we know YouTube wouldn't have struck us for that one, man.
Oh, damn it, man.
Nobody wants to hear though. The thing is, we going back to this whole thing. Where the Gipp feature at on the Future tapes? Future went viral. Future. When's the last time Future said Dungeon Family on wax?
It's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Like, what are we talking about here? Like, people gotta go up north to get on because y'all ain't do right, Dungeon Family. Which I was putting on Sleepy Brown and the nigga with the fucking umbrella.
I like the way.
And CeeLo, I'm still on your head about them allegations, boy.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm on his head top, man.
Uh-oh.
It's getting out of hand.
It was a bad week.
I'm sipping my cup.
Shout out to Gucci Mane.
I read the reports. You feel me?
Shout out to Gucci Mane and shout out to Waka moms who had to come from Queens to make shit happen in the South.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
Shout out to Deb. Shout out to
Deb. Shout out to QC, the label, to this day opening doors for big time Atlanta artists. Shout out to Grand Hustle because for a while I was putting on as well. Shout out to Disturbing the Peace because artists came through that label as well.
Shit, shout out to YSL, man. A lot of Atlanta niggas.
Shout out to YSL. They're going through whatever they're going through, but they were the next ones.
They were.
That's man. Shout out to Tupac Shakur from Harlem, New York.
Yeah, shout out.
Yeah. About to start this thing up in Atlanta.
I'm just saying, like, you know what I mean? You love New York niggas whether you know it or not. Okay?
New York Bias 3 on the way.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
We're due.
Real quick, 65 is loading up. We got the homie Ease. Hey, yo, Ease. For 65. And during 65, we're going to have a very, very big announcement that some of you Nas fans are going to be excited to hear. So make sure you tune in to episode 65 because big things are going on for that. The Rap Roundtable, Dini, you got your connection right. Take it home.
I'm back due to some technical difficulties, but I am back. Shout out to Jav, the point guard. Shout out to Macito, no longer the voice.
Sir. Yes, sir.
The big dog. You see what's going on.
Yes,
Shout out to Sincere, the rap snob. That long gonna be on fire tomorrow. I'm looking forward to it. I'm Dini, the balance of the force. And with our powers combined, we the Rap Roundtable, and we the fuck out it.
New York Bias.
Yes, sir.